The NBA playoffs are here, and I'm getting my bets in on FanDuel. Talk to me, Chuck GPT. What do you know?
All sorts of interesting stuff, even Charles Barkley's greatest fear.
Hey, nobody needs to know that.
New customers bet $5 and get $200 in bonus bets if you win. FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook.
21 plus and present in select states. Must be first online real money wager. $5 deposit required. Bonus issued is non-withdrawable bonus bets that expires 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See full terms at FanDuel.com/sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
What is Cafe Mocha? Cafe Mocha is experts, celebrities.
What's up? This is Belle Biv DeVoe.
Yours truly, Idris Elba.
This is Fantasia.
This is In Vogue.
This is India Ari.
So much more. All from a woman's perspective.
What flavor are you, baby?
This is Cafe Mocha.
Radio from a woman's perspective with Emmy Award-winning talk show host Lonnie Love, hip-hop legend Yo-Yo, and I'm the producer Angelique. Lonnie's comedy brother is coming up, George Wallace. But first, she's got some thoughts about the Shannon Sharp scandal. Welcome to Cafe Mocha. Lonnie, I understand you've been paying attention to the NFL draft. Only thing I know is that Deion Sanders' son got bump. That's all I know, but what's up with the draft? What happened?
You know, every year the NFL draft has like 200 and some odd players that are eligible to be drafted, and they have a ranking. And Deion Sanders' son, Shedeur Sanders, was ranked in the top 5. Like they thought maybe not number 1 pick, but at least number 2, number 3. So everyone was really excited because, you know, it's Deion Sanders' son. He also has another son that plays. His name is Shiloh. So once the draft started, you know, Shedeur was not getting drafted. It was like the first round. So the first round is 1 day. That's the first 32. Then the second round, he didn't get drafted. Then the third round. And so, you know, they always had these cameras and everything at people's houses if they're not there. So Shedeur had like a party and all this kind of stuff. And it was like...
at the house?
At the house.
He was at home with all his buddies.
He was at home with all, and it was like, and so like the first day when he didn't get drafted, he put out a statement. He said, "Hey, it didn't go the way I thought it would go, but God is with me." And so there has been talk about Shedeur because he's a very outspoken young man, like his dad. He's very flashy. And there was some talk that Deion Sanders was saying that, there were certain teams that he wanted Shedeur to not, if he got drafted, he would decline and things like that. So it was a lot of things that was happening on the outside looking in. But eventually, during the 5th round, the 144th pick, Shedeur finally got drafted. He got drafted by the Cleveland Browns. And actually, because I was studying it that whole weekend, I just find it fascinating, the whole draft and the politics behind it, things like that. A lot of people were getting upset because Shedeur was not getting drafted. And they felt like it was because of him being this outspoken young black man. You have to remember, Shedeur grew up with money because of his dad.
Right.
So he's not...
I don't need your money.
Right. But he's not the typical NFL story, if I should say, for black people.
Right.
Usually it's this, it's this heartwarming, we were poor and now I got drafted, I can help my family, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with it. But as we get into different generations where you have actual football players that are now have sons that can be a part of the NFL, here we have Shedeur. But this was the interesting thing. Some people were on the side of, they were saying that they don't want to pick certain teams. Well, about 20 years ago or 10 years ago, Eli Manning, whose dad is Archie Manning, who's a football player, and his brother, Eli Manning, was getting drafted. He was naming off teams that he didn't want to be a part of. So people started comparing that and saying, well, Eli did it and he ended up getting drafted. Why can't Shedeur, do the same thing? But eventually, I think that what happened with the Cleveland Browns, and you could, if you are into the draft, you probably picked it up. It was announced. It's been rumored that the Cleveland Browns owner made the call and said, draft him. Like if you go back and look at it, I posted it all. It was it was like it was shocked, but supposedly it was the owner that made that decision. And even Donald Trump was like, "Why doesn't Shador?" I'm like, "Oh." He even made a comment and put out a tweet. Why hasn't he drafted yet? I'm like, Donald, calm down. So, with all of that, he got drafted.
Shannon Sharp done stepped down from some things, ain't he? You know what? It's like all that junk talking caught up with him. You can't talk that kind of junk and expect people not to come for you.
People that know Shannon Sharp, the former NFL football player, has popular podcast called Club Shay Shay. He also has a nighttime podcast with Ocho Cinco. He also is on ESPN, I think, every 2 days or every other day. But he had to step aside from ESPN Network temporarily amid allegations of sexual assault in a lawsuit that leads to the question of a lot of people are saying, why did it take so long for ESPN to actually respond? Now, this lawsuit is from a young woman that he has been dating, and she is alleging that she has an OnlyFans page, and when Shannon was addressing the lawsuit, he ended up revealing her identity on her OnlyFans page.
What?
They began dating when he was 54 years old and she was 19. She is suing him for $50 million over sexual assault and battery allegations. And she filed the lawsuit in Nevada, alleging that he engaged in the intentional infliction of emotional distress, saying that he had assaulted her twice, once in October 2024 and again in January. She alleges that Shannon grew increasingly violent throughout their relationship and threatening to unalive her on one occasion. He recorded them without her knowledge.
Okay.
Now, Shannon is denying this. He is saying that it's a shakedown. And what actually happened was that he initially offered her $10 million.
He didn't admit that, though.
Yes, he did.
When?
He his attorney went
his attorney said it.
Yeah. And the attorney said, in these types of cases, you usually give an offer for it because he didn't want his sex life detailed. So that's why he had offered her through the attorney $10 million.
Thanks, Lonnie. On the way, legendary comedian George Wallace.
Standing in solidarity from a woman's perspective. It's Cafe Mocha.
It's Cafe Mocha with Lonnie Love. Yo, I'm Angelique. On the line, one of Lonnie's comedy daddies,
brothers,
uncles, Mr. George Wallace.
Hey, George, how you doing?
I'm definitely not your uncle, but there's a strong possibility that I might be your daddy. That's for sure. What a blessed day to talk to some beautiful ladies. Let's just talk about anything you want to talk about because I got nothing to do. I just got in from Washington, D.C. at the sold out 5 shows at the Improv. So I'm tired.
You know what though, George? How do you keep going? You've been doing this for years. What keeps you motivated with doing comedy?
Lonnie, most people don't live their passion. I wanted to be a comedian since I was 6 years old, and to be able to do what I love doing and, going to college and getting marketing degrees and transportation degrees and working in advertising in New York City, everything at the Times Square, the billboards and spectaculars, and becoming vice president of the world's largest outdoor advertising agency. And
Wow.
And to be able to tell jokes is what I've always wanted to do. I saved up money before I started, and I just tell you, I'm still writing new jokes right now. I'm trying to write some new jokes and not cussing. I've been a Christian comedian for 49 years, but I started cussing this year. So Instead of cussing, I say Waka Flocka is my cuss word.
Okay.
Waka Flocka.
What made you start
like
cursing?
Well, about the Oscars about 2 years ago when Will slapped Chris Rock.
Mm-hmm.
So that's when I couldn't take it because Chris is like my son, and I thought it was a skit like everybody else did, and all of a sudden I'm going, no, this is serious. And I love Will Smith. I can't stand Will Smith unless he walk in the room right now. I'll be his best friend. But when he hit him, I didn't know what to do, and I was with my friend Sybil and J. Anthony Brown and Myra J. We were all on a phone call together, and it hurt me, and I was crying, So I started cussing. I didn't know what to say. I just went Will Smith, and then I went off because I was saying all the Smith, not just Will, all the Smith. Will Smith, his wife Jane, G.I. Joe, Jada, whatever her name.
George, we all linear.
So you can't cuss.
No.
Oh, let's start over. So I said, the hell with Will Smith. The hell with all the Smith. The hell with his wife, G.I. Jane, Jada Smith, whatever her name is. The hell with them two little weird-ass kids, Willow and Willette. The hell with all the Smith. Smithsonian Institute. The hell with that. Mr. Smith Goes to Washington, that movie. All the Smith. I hated all the Smith. His grandmama, Granny Smith, all that. The hell with all the Smith. The Blacksmith, Locksmith, all the Smith. The hell with all of them. And then I did some research and I found out that Smith is the number one name in America. And then Saturday night, I asked in the audience, anybody named Smith? They said, yeah. I said, the hell with you too. Now, so that's when I started cussing. That's when I started cussing.
But George, okay, Will Smith did apologize. So how did you feel? Do you feel like it was sincere?
I don't know. I really don't care. I just have to sling these jokes. I don't know whether it was sincere. I don't. It's over. What is it about? A year and a half, 2 years ago, something like that.
Yeah.
Because I have worked with Smith many times, and I know Will's mama, and we just love each other. But at the time, that's when I started cussing. But I've been doing comedy for 49 years. It's just time to cuss. You got Trump in office. It's just time to cuss for no reason whatsoever. And I'm a good cusser. Most people think I'm a clean comedian, but I can cuss. I can cuss real good. Mm-hmm. But I'm using Waka Flocka instead of the other. Since I met Waka Flocka Flame, Waka Flocka is my cuss word, and I appreciate all the Waka Flockas out there. And then I'm trying to make another cuss word instead of the B word. I'm gonna say butch.
Oh,
how about that?
That's a good way. Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying to see other words to use instead of saying the real cuss word. And it works. I know Waka Flocka in the club works real good, and it works on television when I presented the bit Waka Flocka. And I want to thank every Waka Flocka for listening to this Waka Flocka show.
I love it. George, what I always wanted to ask you, when you're not on stage, what is your life like?
My life is like a legal pad, and I like to watch the news, and I love writing new jokes, and because that's my job. Is when something stupid happens, I have to write it down. It's kind of like being at home. Last week, maybe 2 weeks ago, I ordered some food from DoorDash, okay? And my food came, and my concierge downstairs called me and said, Mr. Wallace, your food is here. Do you want us to send it up? And I made that a joke, said, no, you keep it. Why don't you eat my food? People just saying stupid stuff, right? Do you want us to send it up? Then I get in the Uber. I slam the door, and the driver says, are you ready to go? So I've become writing habits of people saying stupid things, calling Delta Airlines and asking for a flight to Atlanta around noon. And a lady say, is that 12 noon? I said, no, that's 2 noon, butch. So butch, that's the first time I've used that as a joke, Lonnie. Butch.
Great.
I don't know whether I answered your first question. I don't think I answered your first question. So I've enjoyed everything and every moment of being a comedian and making my life what I want it to be, and to be able to do things with telling jokes. I used to do radio, but taking my jokes to Las Vegas and being the only black man that ever owned a show in a major casino with 750 seats every night. Went there for 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, and wound up staying there for 15 years. And I think that's a major accomplishment for me on my part, and I'm satisfied with my life. I mean, I never wanted to do radio and television, even though I've gotten into it lately, but I call myself the most successful comedian that you've ever met. It's not how much money you make, but it's how you enjoy your life while you're living. And I'm teaching the young kids today, make sure they enjoy their lives. if they really want to do comedy and don't worry about being on top. Every comedian we know on top, but not only comedian, everybody on the top of anything, there's problems with it. It's kind of like traveling on the airline. If you have too much luggage, they would charge you for it. Right. So it's like that with being an entertainer. Everybody you know, Lonnie, everybody went from Richard Pryor to Prince to Michael Jackson to Muhammad Ali to Dr. King, John F. Kennedy. You think about everybody on top. There's problems coming. Look at Shannon Sharp right now. Show was going great. Bam! All of a sudden, here's $1 million lawsuit. The kid playing football on top had to go back to the bottom. It doesn't matter. So I'm teaching young kids, don't worry about being on top of the mountain. Just stay on your way up the mountain. So for 49 years, I'm still on the mountain. Lonnie, we're still on the mountain. We're still moving up. We're still here. And I think that's a blessing and that's a good thing. And we love what we do.
It's Cafe Mocha on the line. My comedian brother, George Wallace, Sunday, May the 11th. He'll be at the Victoria Theater in New Jersey, the New Jersey Performing Arts Center in Newark. When you do a show, do you have a feature, George, or is it just you?
It depends on when. Some of my features have been Jennifer Holliday goes out with me. Sometimes I take Jerry Brown and Mary J out with me. I've had in Las Vegas, the biggest thing I had was Sly and the Family Stone. For the first time in 26 years, I had them back there. That's been about 8 years ago, though. But I do bring people in. I have War. I travel on the road with a lot of people, so I don't know. Every show is different. I just like having fun. I just never got Lonnie Love to go out with me.
I was getting ready to say,
you know, she's so big. I don't need a feature for you. I'll feature for you though.
That's not true. I'll feature for you any day. I just always admired you, and I love that you bring so much to comedy and the words that you're saying, whether you're a comedian or not, just in life, you are helping people. And that's what I really adore about you, George. When you see him, Angelique, he always has a big smile. He always smells good. Always smells good. Gives you a great big hug. And you're just so happy to see George. I like to call him Mr. Wallace when I see him in person, but so delightful. He really, really is.
Thank you so much. I do enjoy life, and my purpose on earth, and everybody's purpose on earth, is to give back. You're supposed to give back, and I love. Right now, I'm having a good time talking to the kids that are at my show. I got young kids in their 30s and 40s bringing their parents to my show. And I love talking to, last Friday I was talking to sixth graders at the world famous high school in Washington, D.C., teaching the young kids. They have a program there where they're studying radio and television broadcasting. And I thought that was so great for 6-year-old kids. I told them make sure they enjoy their lives, because just because you get a degree in marketing doesn't mean you got to do statistical analysis the rest of your life. You might enjoy arranging flowers or painting cars or fixing refrigerators. Just honor your essence. Honor your essence. Do what you like doing, and don't worry about the money. The money will come.
Definitely.
And I'm teaching young kids, and everybody. The most important thing in life that anybody can do: make sure you travel. Enough people don't travel. If you travel, you can really learn how to live. Mm-hmm. And when you travel to other countries and you see how other people live, you learn that it alleviates a lot of prejudices. I'm also teaching a new thing now. I'm trying to teach everybody this, Lonnie. When you go to the airport and you get on the airplane, do me a favor. When you walk on the airplane, try to make a left instead of a right. If you ever try this, making a left on the airplane instead of a right, you probably never want to make a right again in your life. And it costs a little more, but you will really love that first class if you can make a left instead of a right.
Yeah, I love that.
Enjoy that, but make sure you travel all over the world, because enough people don't travel, especially us, the chocolate people. Yeah, mocha people, they don't travel enough.
Exactly. You are absolutely right, George. But sometimes you got to make that right, because in this economy, you're not gonna be able to.
Yeah, I know you do have to make that, but I'm just saying, try it one time and you will notice the difference, especially if you're on a long 5-hour trip and you just go to bed. you get used to doing what you want to do, you know?
Right.
Because I used to always say, why the hell should I pay $5,000 to sit up front when I can sit in the back for $500 and the plane gets there at the same time? But
Right.
I work hard, and I don't want to leave any money in the bank.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, I want to die like Red Fox and Sammy Davis Jr. They died broke. And people think that, you know that, right?
That's
and
right.
I figured out, you know what, if you die and owe the government $800,000, $900,000, you did pretty good.
It's Cafe Mocha on the
People say
line.
that-
Comedian George Wallace. Sunday, May the 11th, he'll be in Newark at the Victoria Theater at the New Jersey Performing Arts Center. Now, George, you have done a lot of movies. You've done a lot of television shows. Your last project was Clean Slate, which is a comedy series with Laverne Cox. How was that working with Laverne? I just adore her so much.
I can't believe you said that. Let me tell you what happened. I have known Norman Lear for many a year. This project was put together with my good friend Norman Lear. And I said, you know what? You rebooted everything else. Let's reboot Sanford and Son. He said, that is my most iconic, and that's going to be hard to do. However, if you go back and think about it, maybe if you come up with a nice twist, maybe we can do something. So I went back. I was talking to my friend that I've written a few books with, and I said, at the time, Orange is the New Black was the hot show. And I had heard about that, and then I heard about Laverne Cox. Did not know about her, did not see her, never watched the show at all. But I knew her struggle, and I knew I grew up in Atlanta, and I knew I had to ride the back of the bus. So I don't like discriminatory practices against anybody. So let's put these two stories together. Old black man down in Alabama on a car wash like I did in the movie The Wash, and my son leaves Alabama and goes to New York City to do his thing, to be who he wanted to be. And we thought that story fit Laverne, and Laverne said, yes, I love it. And we took it back to Norman Lear, and he says, yes. So then what happens, we make the story come true, and Laverne goes to New York to do her thing. 23 years later, Lonnie, I get an email that says, Dad, I'm coming home tomorrow. And I go crazy because I own a car wash, and I know everybody in the neighborhood. And I told everybody, my son is coming home. The next day, ding dong, the most beautiful lady you've ever seen in your life is at my door. I said, lady, you are beautiful. I don't know what you're selling, Avon, or whether you're selling the Watchtower, but you got to go because my son is coming home. And she says, Dad, it's me. I'm your daughter. My face drops for 30 minutes. Actually, the first words, I don't know whether we use it in the show, the first words were, what the hell? And then the good thing about the show is that Harry, the character that I play, and me, myself, I'm being educated to learn a lot about somebody else's life and how people live, and let people live and be who they wanted to be, to tell their story. And I just love it. And Laverne is the greatest actress, and just working with her. And they say I did a good job too. And it was just wonderful being educated. You listen, you learn, you love, and you just let people be who they want to be. We named the show Clean Slate because everybody can start over. It's about tolerance. It's about forgiveness. It's about giving.
If you're in the tri-state area, George Wallace has a show on Mother's Day at the New Jersey Performing Arts Center in Newark. George Wallace is not done yet. We got more coming up on Cafe Mocha.
We're at Cafe Mocha Radio. Socially savvy on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Serving up more Cafe Mocha on the way. Standing in solidarity from a woman's perspective. It's Cafe Mocha.
Cafe Mocha on the line. We're talking to comedian George Wallace. Let's get back into it.
And, you know, she being you have to use these words right because I don't want to say the wrong thing. And that's why I am still learning. So if I say something wrong, I am still learning, and everybody on the show understands that. But that's what's great about the show. We took the title, the subject matter, to the Black church. Everywhere it went, you know, the Black church, we got a little problem with the Black church, them understanding a lot of things. And and then we got a lot of good feedback from the church, from some of the church members, though. So there's always a lot of help, but we're able to face these problems. So I knew riding the back of the bus was not good. And what Laverne is going through, being who she wants to be, what she's fighting, and people fighting against her for no reason. and we tackle these subjects with humor. I'm glad I did the show, and now we're shopping it around again. We got to go to other networks now and try to sell it because of the climate of America right now that owns our network, Amazon. The climate of America is not too good. So we'll have to shop this show around somewhere else.
That's a perfect explanation. And the thing is that what you're doing with this type of show is just wonderful because it's a way to put humor, but also, like you said, you can learn as well. And you did fantastic. You were hilarious. Both of you guys had chemistry. You're very adorable. And like you said, we're still learning about these new type of lifestyles. But I think that was such a genius idea to have that type of concept, So I think it could get picked up. Lifetime could pick it up. I mean, I think we have to get out of this wave that we're in right now. But there's no other show like it, George. So I see it as an easy pickup.
Thank you. And when we talk about your normal era, he says that's the craziest idea I've ever heard in my life. He says, but I like it. And Norman only touched things that are controversial, right?
Yeah.
And we just thought, great. And I love it. Now, we're talking about a sexual matter. Now, many kids left home for, could be child abuse, could be drug abuse, but that's what it's all about, clean slate and people living and learning and giving people a second chance. And you know what? And Laverne did a great thing. She insisted that at least a third of the crew be from her community. And I tell you what, great. I learned a lot. None of you won't believe what I learned. So let's say a makeup person next door has a beard and long hair, mustache, boots, and a pink dress. And so when you don't understand this because you're not of the community, but 4 or 5 days you go, you know what? The job is getting done and really good. Everybody doing their job. What can you say? Let people be who they want to be, And the next thing you know, when you work with people, and I'm a good person. I know I'm a good person. Next thing you know, that's family.
It's Cafe Mocha. You can check out Clean Slate on Amazon Prime Video. All of them that are there. I thought it was super cute. And like you said, very much needed. And you're going to be at the Performing Arts Center in Newark. That's Mother's Day weekend, right?
Yes, it's going to be Mother's Day.
Okay. So go out with your mama.
So bring your mama, bring your baby's mama. Oh, my God. In Philadelphia over the weekend, they jumped on my mama so badly. So, I haven't done your mama jokes in years, but they ate me up. And but I was ready for them, Lana. You know me. I came back. Even Roy Woods Jr. on CNN this week talked about my mama. So maybe this resurgence is coming back on the Your Mama jokes. It's been 30 years.
Oh, man. I'm telling you, that CNN appearance you made, that made my night. That you and Roy Woods and then the other little guy, Michael Ian Black. Oh,
Michael, yeah. And I don't know, it came off right. It came off just perfectly. Now you stay in your lane. You don't know me.
Yeah. It was really, really good. So
Michael Ian Black, yeah.
How can we keep up with all of your tour dates, George?
Okay, May 16th, 17th, I will be in Atlanta, Georgia, at a brand new club called Helium. I mean, it's nice. It's 400 seats. It's in upper North Atlanta, where the rich people live, up in Smyrna and Marietta and Johns Creek and Alpharetta. So I'm going to be doing it, and I'm going to give you a list of all the dates I'm going to do. But in the next month, I think I'm going to run over to Doha. I haven't been to Doha yet. Have you been to Doha?
No, not yet.
You've been to Dubai?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to do Dubai again. And then I'm going to go do like 5 cities in China. I love China. I spent in the last 20 years, I've been spending a lot of time. My favorite city is Shanghai, Hong Kong, and Macau. Now I'm going to go to other cities that I haven't gone to. They've got like 10 cities over there with over 10 million people.
Does your humor change any for them?
No, in Hong Kong, when I first got to Hong Kong 20 years ago, I said, got to the hotel and they said, Mr. Wallace, we've been waiting for you. Thank you. We're so happy to have you here. And I said, ooh, they speak English perfectly so. And I got to the elevator and everybody was bowing. Mr. Wallace, welcome. And I got upstairs and I realized that Hong Kong was a British colony up until 1999. That's their first language in Hong Kong is English.
Wow.
Oh,
That's
okay.
their first language. It would surprise you. So no, but I did something stupid when I was performing in Hong Kong. I went on stage, maybe it was Shanghai, but I went on stage. I said, "Do they deliver Chinese food here like they do in New York City?" And they started laughing. I'm going, "What the hell are they laughing at?" All their food is Chinese food. I look so stupid.
That's
That's one good thing
hilarious.
about
It is. It is. George Wallace is performing at NJPAC in Newark on Mother's Day. I think your mom will appreciate that gift. We've got more coming up on Cafe Mocha.
Here's your dose of espresso. Strong, hot news now.
This is the Espresso. Wanda Sykes stopped by The View to talk about Trump's 100 days in office.
He was a little smarter this time because the first term, he surrounded himself by somewhat competent people, right?
Yeah.
But then they all realized that he was an idiot and they quit.
Yeah.
This time he's like, I want all dummies, all just give me the most incompetent, just put them all around me.
Jamel Hill weighs in on football star Saquon Barkley hanging out and golfing with Trump.
While he is with the president, you have this administration taking away precious artifacts from the National African American Museum here in Washington, D.C. You have them doing other things that show that they are more than willing to undermine black liberation in this country. And so if you're a black player, that automatically is going to put you at the crosshairs of politics.
That's the Espresso.
This is Cafe Mocha. Radio from a woman's perspective.
Cafe Mocha with Lonnie Love, Yo-Yo. I'm the producer, Angelique. We're having so much fun with George Wallace.
Lonnie, have you been to China yet? Either of you been to China?
No, I haven't been to China. I want to go, but I'm like, wow, I didn't realize that. I had to realize that, English is, in China is like their second language, so.
Now that I know Hong Kong speaks English.
In Hong Kong is their first language.
Wow. Yeah. That's
a British
neat.
colony.
I'm going to have to go there
Yeah,
now.
but I tell you what, you would be surprised when you get over there. Shanghai is 3 times larger than New York City, 3 times more modern than New York City. And the shopping, you will go crazy. And it's just beautiful. I went to the Great Wall of China and all that stuff. And it's like, I don't know what communism is. I know they can't talk like you're the government or something like that. But otherwise, the people are living over there like crazy. The Chinese was talking last week on CNN about how America has spent their money for years on war. That's where most of their money going, military war. And they said, and here in China, we've been spending our money on people and also on the infrastructure of the country. So we don't even have bullet trains yet. They got all of that stuff. They got train stations on the 22nd floor of buildings. They got malls on the 22nd floor on top of the on 22nd floors up in the air. It's just so modern over there. It's just like, I can't believe this is going on. Most of the buildings are televisions at night. It illuminates. So, and just buying your clothing alone, you'd go crazy. So, but they have their government going pretty good right now. And they're saying, right now, they're telling America with Trump, they're telling America, keep your airplanes. They sent one of the new airplanes back to America last week.
They sure did.
Sure did.
They sure did.
And they're now buying food from other countries.
How do they treat you as a black person, George, over there?
They look at me. China is better than Japan. The Chinese, they look at me like they've seen everybody because, they got a lot of basketball players over there. They love tall black basketball players. And one of those Chinese kids, I was sitting on the bench in the park, a little kid just come up and wanted to sit next to me. Really nice. And
That's cute.
I have no problem with people. And another thing I want you to know, if you got money, people speak English. I don't care where you go.
That's right. That is right.
Our 2 T's. It's our 15th anniversary, and Disney has the perfect gift for one of our loyal listeners. You've got a chance to win a 7-night cruise to Alaska on the Disney Wonder. We'll let you know how to register to win coming up on CafeMocha.com.
Want a little more of our flavor? Stay right there. It's Cafe Mocha.
Cafe Mocha is Lonnie Love, Yo-Yo. I'm the producer, Angelique. We're talking to George Wallace.
Angelique, am I pronouncing your name right, Angelique?
Yep. That's
Yes.
Have you traveled?
I have 1 stamp in my passport. And it's to the Bahamas.
Oh, Lord.
You should be.
No.
I'm going to really get on you. Angelique, I'm going to really get on you. This is something I want you to put on your calendar or whatever, on your, what you call it, bucket list.
Yes.
Put this on your Waka Flocka list, okay?
Okay,
and,
Butch.
I want you to start. I know you didn't call me no Butch. No, hell, you didn't.
Waka Flocka, Butch.
Who is coming back on me?
I love it.
That's pretty cool. So next time you see me, you're gonna go, George, I went somewhere. I don't care what it is. Go to Vancouver, British Columbia is a beautiful city. You should go to the nicest city in North America. Vancouver, British Columbia. That's right up in Canada.
I've been to Canada. Canada doesn't count. Back in the day, you didn't even have to get a pass. Last time I went to Toronto, I'm putting out my passport, and I'm like, please stamp it. I need a stamp. He's like, I don't need to. Like, damn.
That's funny.
But now you do have to stamp it. If you go to Toronto now, you do have to stamp.
Okay.
And but make sure you go somewhere, and that's the most important thing you're going to do.
Okay, thank you.
And when I get to know people, sometimes I get so angry, I have to buy them a ticket to go somewhere.
I don't mind. I'm going to make a left on the plane, though. Right?
If I buy your ticket, your ass going to make a right.
Okay. Thank you so much.
You know what I did, Lonnie? You know what I did 2 years ago? My kids had never been anywhere either. I made them all get their passports, and I flew them to John F. K., and they didn't know where they were going to go. And I had already got their tickets and got their passports made up, and I took them to the plane. They left the lounge, and the reservation, I said, do you guys know where you're going? They said, no. They had no idea where they were going. And when they got on the plane and made a left, that's when they found out that they were going to London, England. They all started crying.
Oh,
London, England.
wow.
That's sweet.
That's awesome.
And every 3 days, I would tell them, tomorrow morning, get your stuff together. We're going to somewhere else. I would tell them we're going to Munich. And we got to the train station in London. They said, this train says Paris. I said, well, I guess I made a mistake. They started crying again. 3 days later, I told them we're going somewhere else. They got to the airplane. They held the plane for us. And they were going to Barcelona, Spain. And that's what I like to do. I do like to take people traveling and experiencing the world of travel. It's the greatest thing you could do.
Thank you.
So if you do anything, make sure you travel.
Okay.
Cafe Mocha, this is George Wallace. I'm having fun with my two best friends, and it's all about love. And I always remember that this is George Wallace, and I love you, and there's absolutely nothing you can do about it.
Oh, I love you too, George. Thank you so much for the time.
Listen, you know I got nothing to do, so I can talk all day. If you have anybody ever fall out, call me. I love to talk, okay?
Okay.
We love it. Thank you so much, George. Remember, Sunday, May the 11th.
And Lonnie, love, you know I love you. I'm wearing some glasses right now. My sunglasses I'm wearing that we got at Gladys Knight's party. I
remember that. I love it.
Well, listen, do me a favor. Y'all take care of yourself, and thank you for having me on.
Thank you.
You're welcome, George. Thank you so much. All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Check out the full conversation with George Wallace on our podcast, wherever you listen to podcasts. And don't forget, Cafe Mocha's teamed up with Disney Cruise Line to give one lucky winner a 7-night cruise through Alaska on the Disney Wonder. Details coming soon. That's the show. You can find us on all platforms at Cafe Mocha Radio. Cafe Mocha is a production of Miles Ahead Broadcasting in partnership with Super Radio. Executive producer Sheila Eldridge. For comments, booking, or more information, visit cafemocharadio.com.